Уважаемые друзья, дамы и господа,
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, so before speaking on the subject matter of our meeting, I would like to greet the participants of this plenary session of the Eurasian Economic Forum and thank President Tokayev here for this forum of today's work, for organizing this useful and valuable event and discussion. It's very important that this forum allows state officials and members of the business community and the society to work key initiatives to deepen and widen the integration that brings real benefits to every member state of the Eurasian Economic Union. It boosts economic growth and increases the living standards and the well-being of the population. This time, the focus of our attention is on high technology, digitalization and artificial intelligence. A lot has been done in these areas in Eurosec. We use common data exchange standards for trade operations. We have unified the digital commerce rules. We use electronic navigation seals. And we have a unified system for the labor markets. As for artificial intelligence, this is something new but very promising sphere of interaction. We're looking at strategic technologies that are becoming an important factor in ensuring global competitiveness, economic growth, and progress. Leadership in this area is already hotly contested among states and transnational corporations. And I must say that, in my view, Russia has certain competitive advantages here. First of all, we realize very well just how important this knowledge is. We understand the fundamental importance of these instruments. And we realize the opportunities and risks lying in the deployment of such technologies. Number three, as has been said already here, we possess the intellectual potential in education, and this process has been going on in education and our academic circles. Russia possesses the talent required to solve these tasks. And finally, the development of artificial intelligence requires huge use of energy, and Russia has, in this regard, certain competitive advantages. I mean, well-developed nuclear energy technologies, small nuclear power plants, high-power units, as well as other sources of energy. I mean, hydroelectric generation, conventional generation, and so on. It can all be used, and Russia has obvious advantages in this regard. And finally, the development of artificial intelligence requires a lot of financing. And now it turns out that Russia is capable of concentrating significant amount of financial resources in these areas. In this regard, the Russian Federation is one, perhaps, of few countries capable of creating and actually creating its own sovereign AI platforms. But we understand very well and we realize that joining forces with our friends and partners is of utmost importance. Uniting efforts can have a colossal effect on the end result, if I'm allowed to say so. For Eurosec countries, it creates serious challenges as well as opportunities. And political lives are changing as well in front of our eyes. As the previous speakers mentioned here, technologies of political lives are changing. A radically new organization of industry is being formed. The same applies to the social sphere, education, and manufacturing. And it's not only about accounting and healthcare routing. It applies to the very way of making decisions. In healthcare and in fighting certain diseases, the labor market is being reformed. There's a situation when millions of people are about to lose their jobs or will be forced to change their areas of employment. Whole professions might go extinct, replaced, when humans will be replaced by artificial intelligence. A number of areas related to automation, preparing and analyzing documents, writing code, AI is already replacing junior specialists. And in the near future, it looks well poised to replace middle personnel. This process is irreversible and inevitable. Progress is not standing still, and we must be ready for upcoming changes. Better still, we must use them as drivers of accelerated economic growth. Russia has national and industry-wide programs aimed at deploying artificial intelligence in most different spheres, social spheres. I mentioned healthcare already. Just recently it seemed absolutely impossible, unfeasible, but right now Moscow is actively introducing AI instruments in healthcare. When ambulance comes to responding to a call, while the patient is being transferred to hospital, his or her entire medical file is being uploaded, what tools were used in their treatment, what were efficient and what were not. The moment a patient arrives in a hospital, the entire treatment therapy is already there. That changes the very base of healthcare services. And not only there, but in other areas as well, the same intensive work is going on. And I repeat once again, it's very important to unite efforts in this regard, implementing best practices and scaling them out. We have initiated an international alliance in artificial intelligence. We have established an international conference on optimizing compute. These structures unite academic and business circles from many countries. We also suggest hosting a meeting in Russia next year, a summit meeting on artificial intelligence, with the goal of discussing the development of sovereign AI models, shaping an interconnected infrastructure and energy facilities, and adapting AI technologies for local needs. I just briefly singled out our approaches to working with AI. Of course, this is a multifaceted matter that requires very complex consideration on international areas as well. Thank you very much.